With the dust settling on an intense, unprecedented campaign of F1 action, we count down the top 10 drivers who impressed the most in 2020. Following an exhilarating season filled with fascinating storylines and subplots, we have compiled our 10-to-1 ranking of the top-performing F1 drivers of the 2020 campaign. This order is considering performances across the entire 17-round season and the respective competitiveness of each driver's equipment. Number 10, Valtteri Bottas. While 2020 will ultimately go down as another comprehensive defeat to Hamilton, there were positives to take from a season in which Valtteri Bottas played a big role in ensuring Mercedes kept up its streak of successive World Championship triumphs. Bottas may look back on his season with disappointment, having racked up 2 wins and 5 pole positions in a car that his teammate drove to victory 11 times. But going up against Hamilton at the top of his game is one of, if not, the toughest gig in F1. It was Sundays that let Bottas down as he struggled to match Hamilton's tyre management skills and racecraft. Misfortune also plagued Bottas at times. On his day, like in Austria and Russia, Bottas proved he could be the quicker of the 2 Mercedes on merit, but these standout performances were ultimately scarce as Hamilton romped home to another title success. Number 9, Lando Norris. Lando Norris began his sophomore F1 campaign on a high with a breakthrough third-place finish and last-gasp fastest lap at the season-opening Austrian Grand Prix, and it was the start of an impressive season for the young Brit. While Norris would lose out to teammate Carlos Sainz in terms of points, he edged out the qualifying head-to-head battle with some excellent Saturday showings, the best of which came in Abu Dhabi with a stunning lap for P4 that was only 0.25 seconds off pole position. His consistency was key to McLaren beating its rivals to third place in the Constructors' Championship despite having an inferior car. After the respectful rivalry he enjoyed with Sainz, Norris will now face an arguably tougher test in 2021, against another driver in the form of his life in the shape of the incoming Daniel Ricciardo as McLaren makes the switch to Mercedes power. Number 8, George Russell. Following his difficult first season in F1 at the back of the grid with Williams, things improved for George Russell in his sophomore campaign as the former world champions made a step forward. Russell was impressive enough throughout as he continued to show the sort of performances that persuaded Mercedes to throw their backing behind him in the first place. Most notable were his qualifying performances, for which Russell earned the tag of Mr. Saturday, as he maintained his impressive record of never being outqualified by a teammate. The Briton narrowly missed out on points at Mugello and Imola, though a clumsy crash under the safety car at the latter threw away what had been at the time his best chance to end his pointless streak in F1. There were 2 other mistakes across what was ultimately a brilliant 2020, which will most likely be remembered for Russell's sensational one-race cameo at Mercedes in Bahrain when he deputised for Hamilton. Russell exceeded in the challenge and showed that he is fully capable of delivering at the sharp end of the grid. He proved beyond doubt that he is deserving of a Mercedes drive in the not-too-distant future, with his starring debut that nearly ended in a dream victory. Russell can take a lot of confidence from another stellar season that might just end up being the making of the highly rated 22-year-old. Number 7, Carlos Sainz Jr. Carlos Sainz has been dealt his fair share of misfortune over the years, and 2020 was no different, with some moments of bad luck once again cropping up. However, it did not destabilise the Spaniard, who was incredibly consistent throughout the season. Sainz was largely flawless and a regular top 6 challenger. A run of 6 top finishes from the final 7 rounds of the year was crucial in helping McLaren overhaul chief midfield rivals Racing Point in the battle for third place in the Constructors' Championship, as Sainz maximised McLaren's inferior package time and time again. Sainz leaves McLaren and heads to Ferrari at the peak of his career. He'll arrive at Maranello full of confidence next year, knowing that he is driving better than ever before. Number 6, Pierre Gasly. After his knockbacks and Red Bull rejection in 2019, Pierre Gasly hit back with remarkable resilience as he carved out the best season of his F1 career to date with AlphaTauri. Naturally, His dream-maiden F1 victory at Monza will be remembered as the standout moment of 2020. Aided by a large slice of good fortune and luck, Gasly found himself in the unlikely position of leading the Italian Grand Prix, and resisted intense late pressure to fend off McLaren's Carlos Sainz to take his first win in the sport and deliver one of F1's greatest feel-good moments of the year. Gasly was back to his best at AlphaTauri as he worked to successfully rebuild his reputation following his demotion from Red Bull that left his career up in the air in a year in which he had also suffered personal tragedy after losing his best friend, Anton Hubert. Gasly claimed 10 points finishes across a 17-round campaign to earn himself a spot inside the top 10 in the Drivers' Championship, with particularly outstanding drives coming at Spa, Portugal and Bahrain. He also made it into Q3 on 8 occasions as he comprehensively outperformed teammate Danny Kvyat in both qualifying and the races. Now mentally stronger than ever before, having recovered from his lowest of lows, Gasly was reliable and consistently fast as he not only secured his future in F1 and proved his qualities beyond doubt, but also asserted himself as a team leader at AlphaTauri.